be doing a reading today, I pick a pile. You'll have 3 options here to choose from. And we're going to be looking at manifestation and your manifestation potential, okay? We're going to explore your current manifestation energies and how to enhance them for positive outcomes. So take your pick here. We have pile 1, 2, and 3. All right, so if you've chosen pile 1, here we have the Muses Tarot deck. And we're just going to get started here looking at manifestation potential. Okay, so we're going to start with what are your current manifestation energies? We're going to look at your current mindset, underlying beliefs, and approach to manifestation. Look at that, we have the sun right here. It's popping out, so that's a good sign, I feel like, for the reading. So let's start with what are your current manifestation energies? Okay, so we have 2 that popped out here right away. The Hierophant and the Sun. Okay, so we'll start here with the Hierophant. This is all about like a higher level of learning, right? It's also the zodiac sign here for Taurus. And there's kind of like this self-pleasing vibe, or like focusing on the things that are our pleasures, right? So this may be something that you are trying to manifest. Your current energy might be focused on the things that you desire, that you're highly desiring, right? The things that would bring you pleasure. Now, that's not necessarily the meaning of the Hierophant, but that did come out here with that Taurus energy. Okay, and then we have the Sun again, so happiness. So I think that you're really focused on the things that would make you happy, right? That would give you pleasure. So this is kind of, I think when you look at manifestation, it's kind of about, what would make me happy. So whether that's, the car, or the jet ski, or the house, or the dream job, right? We're looking at things that would bring us pleasure, things that we're desiring. And I'm not saying that that's, right, wrong, good, or bad. That's just the current energy and your current mindset. Let's look at some underlying beliefs. So we have the 9 of Voices, right? So this is a lot of anxiety, and our beliefs mirror our thinking. So if we have a lot of anxious thoughts, a lot of anxious thinking, then what might our belief be here when it comes to the things that we desire, right? It could be that our belief is that we're undeserving, that won't happen, that it takes hard work. And a side note, I'm not saying that things don't take hard work, right? But this is more about the anxious thinking being potential roadblocks, right, for us. There's a lot of anxiety going into it. It can even be something as, just a disbelief that you're going to receive that, or something to that effect. We just have a lot of anxiety. You may fear to lose the things that you have already. Now let's look at your approach to manifestation. Yeah, you have the 4 of Materials in reverse. And now I just kind of said you might be afraid of losing. So the 4 of Materials is being very stingy, being greedy in a sense. It's really just about wanting to hold on to the things that you have because you don't want to lose. So that's kind of what your approach is here. I mean, this goes to other things too, but the 4 of Materials, it's kind of saying that because you hold so tightly onto what you have, and you have this anxious thinking, which are again reflective of your beliefs, you're blocking the flow in a sense. And that is one area we're going to look at here a little bit going forward. Your approach is to try to grasp and hold tight onto everything that comes your way, but underlying, you have a fear of losing it. So even if you could perfectly manifest into your life all the things that you had, or that you desire rather, it would be fleeting because you wouldn't be accepting of your ability to hold on to those things. You'd be so afraid of losing those things, right, that you would end up experiencing the loss, okay, of those things, because you would actually manifest that into being rather than manifesting the abundance of accepting that you believe it, and accepting that you have it, and accepting that I can have the things that I desire. Let's move into any additional blockages. Wow, I don't know if you saw that. 3 popped out. Death in reverse. You had the Page of Materials sideways here. And then the Muse of Emotions. We're just going to put that like that. That's the King of Cups. So we'll start with the Death in reverse. Again, this kind of goes back to that 4 of Materials, right? Death upright is transformation. It's having endings for new beginnings. To me, this is like a money in, money out sort of mentality, right? People who are comfortable with abundance, right? They have no issue spending money because they believe it's circular, right? They're going to spend money, they're going to receive money. It goes out, it comes in, right? Just kind of this ever-flowing cycle. But you have this resistance to that flow. You're clinging onto what you have. just like this death card here. So again, it's just that stagnation, that blockage of movement because we won't let things go. Okay, and this could be a lot of different things. It could be money, but let's even think of relationships. If we are in experiences where we have relationships and people are always taking from us and taking from us and taking from us, and we're rarely getting our needs met, but we continue to hold on and not have an ending to those types of relationships, we're just going to attract more of those relationships. Okay, we're not going to be able to manifest anything new in because we're kind of clinging to that old sense, that old way of being. Okay, the Page of Materials, which is the Page of Pentacles, here in the sideways, is saying that you're not super clear on what it is that you want. Okay, so Page of Materials, this is somebody who they do their research. They are clear on what they want. They're grounded, they're stable. They do a lot of research. They make a lot of lists. They make a lot of plans. They're clear on what their desires are. So this is a blockage, not knowing exactly what it is that you want. Perhaps that's why you don't let things go, right? That you no longer need, because you don't know what's next. You don't know actually what you want. So you just cling on to what's familiar. Now we have the Muse of Emotions, again, that King of Cups. It came out with all these other cards too. So not knowing what one wants. There's two parts here. The Muse of Emotions, there's two, and they have their backs to each other. So in some ways, it's like turning your back on your emotions, maybe not being able to see kind of what that is. Let's look at any fears that are blocking you. You have Justice and the Nine of Emotions here in reverse. Your fear is that things won't be fair, that you won't get what you deserve, basically. You won't get what you desire. So that is your fear. I mean, that's pretty basic with these two cards here. And then let's look at any external factors. We'll have to see if that captured that on camera. The card flew up and hit the camera. All right, so we're on external factors. Okay, so you may have other people trying to tell you which direction to go in. There may be people thinking that you should go down a certain path, you should start a certain way. Possibly it could be related to career. They're just telling you maybe you're passionate about something or the things that you desire, right, that we talked about before. You know, maybe they're not standard or conventional or what your parents think is kind of the way for you to go. It could even be children with a Page of Inspiration here. It could be a little bit of, you know, perhaps you're a parent and so you're kind of trying to navigate your paths. Like, this is what I desire and this is maybe the road I feel I have to go down. Let's look at the clarity in your intentions. Okay, how clear you are. We had that Page of Materials kind of come out saying that you don't necessarily know what it is that you want, but let's get another one just to kind of clarify. We have the World. So you know a little bit about what you want, but I think that the roadblock, right, is ending some sort of cycle first. Otherwise, this would be a really good card to say that you have pretty clear intention on what it is you want. So for you, it may just be the blockages here that are the primary. I still would go back to that Page of Materials in the sideways and really look at being very clear with what it is that you want. Let's see if your manifestations are in alignment with your authentic self. You have the 10 of Materials and the 6 of Materials. I think that they are in alignment with your authentic self. So for instance, with the 10 of Materials, right, this is about wealth and abundance. And then the 6 of Materials is generosity. So it's sort of saying that also that it's not like a greedy sort of thing, right? You're not, like, I think that if you were to be wealthy or abundant, or you had what you needed and your needs were met, that you would also be generous to other people. There is a little bit with this deck ancestor vibes here too, right? Something about a legacy, okay? So if your legacy is something that's important to you or to your authentic self. Let's look at your energy flow overall. 3 of Materials. So this is good energy flow. This is expanding, growth. It's also stable. Your stability is expanding. We're still at 3 if we look at a cycle of 1 to 10. So, I mean, there is room for improvement when it comes to your energy flow. And there are a variety of ways that you can work on energy flow. Some would be raising your vibration, obviously, moving your body, eating healthy, things like this. Another is something that I just learned today. I was called to read a section of a book today, right before I did the reading. So I knew that it would be something that needed to be shared in a reading. But anyhow, the section that I read talked about drawing in energy. So the way that it was described to do this was the person rubs their hands together real fast, get them nice and warm, and then putting them up. So I have my hands raised up, and then I imagine that I'm drawing in energy from the sun. And I do this as I meditate. If it's hard to have your hands raised for too long, you can set them up on your lap as well. And just imagine drawing in the energy from the sun. You could pull it in from the earth too. Really, you can do anything, but just imagine yourself drawing the energy in. And then in the book, it described using your pendulum, right, to kind of see what number you're at begin with, and then what number you're at after. So let's pull a card here and see if you were to do that practice of drawing in energy in whatever way works for you. Let's see how your energy flow would be. So you have the Seven of Materials and the Knight of Voices, right? So be taking action to increase your energy here. It's also talking about being patient, right? But it's interesting because I talked about drawing in power from the sun, and we have a little bit of that sun here in this picture. And then you went from a 3 to a 7, so that's kind of cool. All right, and then let's look at some action steps to end here. We have some oracle cards for us on that. So the first card we have is express your joy. So 1, again, raising your vibration, being guided by the things that bring you joy. And then we have build on solid ground. So you had a lot of material cards or pentacles, which is about stability. So again, we want to start to manifest from a place where we are very decisive. We know what it is that we want. We have clear intentions, and we've put the past behind us. So if you're still continuing to engage in things that are draining to you, people pleasing, being in relationships, let's say where your needs aren't being met or where you're putting yourself down, right? Then again, this is us clinging on to what we have, these old patterns that we have, and we're not able to welcome in new manifestations. And then to close, we have prosperity lies ahead. And we have new moon in Taurus, which we started with the Taurus card, right? The Hierophant. I don't know when the new moon is in Taurus. That could possibly be a good time to manifest, but keeping that positive mindset, because prosperity does lie ahead for you here. You do have the ability to have your desires. So the things to work on here, increasing your energy flow. 2, letting things end. 3, stop holding on so tightly. Have an energy in, energy out, money in, money out sort of mentality. And you may want to just examine your belief systems too a little bit here. And then again, getting clear on what it is that you want. All right, if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I do offer personal readings, so if you want to look more specifically at your situation, then all the details are below in the description box. Have a great day. If you chose pile 2, then this reading is for you. We're going to look at your current manifestation energies and how to enhance them for positive outcomes. So to get started, we'll just see where your energy is right now. So you have Temperance and the 9 of Wands. So the Temperance card really talks about balance. It's also Sagittarius energy, which can really be kind of a fun-loving, travel, action, adventurous energy. So you may be very adventurous in your manifestation, or you're trying to manifest some adventure. Otherwise, I would say that you're pretty balanced right now. And then you have the 9 of Wands too. So you're about to close some sort of cycle here. You're continuing to push forward with balance. So I do think that this is really overall good energy. You have balance, and despite kind of these thorns along the way, you're continuing to push through with that balanced mindset. Okay, this may be that you're just making sure that even though times are hard or things are tough, you're continuing to push through and you're continuing to nurture yourself. If that does not resonate with you, then this would be the encouragement that as you continue to push through, right, you need more balance because you're about to get burnt out. So whichever one resonates with you. So when it comes to manifestation, let's look at your current mindset towards manifestation. There we go. We have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So the 9 of Pentacles upright is about reward, financial, sure. It can be wealth, abundance, stability, kind of our physical world. It's being rewarded for your hard work. It's being financially independent, being independent in general. Okay, so your current mindset is the reverse of this. Okay, it's a disbelief in financial independence or independence or reward in whatever way. You feel not rewarded. Now, why does this person feel that they've not been rewarded here? It's also interesting. This card looks bigger than the others. I don't know if you guys can see that or if it's just because I have it upside down that it's an optical illusion, but it's like this is kind of overarching this. But let's see why you feel not rewarded. Why is that? Okay, you have the Ace of Wands in reverse and the Queen of Swords in reverse. So the Ace of Wands in reverse, there is some blockage to a new beginning, a new way for you. Possibly you're feeling like you have to be dependent on somebody. You don't have clarity. Your thoughts don't feel rational when it's related to kind of this stoppage that you've experienced. So this is why you feel like you're not rewarded. You possibly lost an opportunity. And that could be in the now or this could be in the past, something that is just kind of developed within you. Or it's something that you kind of, your mindset is shaped based on past events, okay, if that's not in the present for you. Let's look at your underlying beliefs as they affect your current manifestation energy. The Lover is in reverse, so a lot of resistance energy. It could be that, you know, you're looking at manifesting love and you've had a hard time in love. You know, you do have that Nine of Wands, which is kind of a wounded warrior. And some of these other reversals kind of talk to being dependent on others. So if situations haven't worked out, otherwise underlying beliefs are that, you know, things can't be in harmony, things can't be healed, or that you can't make the right choice. Let's look at your approach to manifestation. Six of Wands here kind of wants to be upright. It's not quite there yet. Okay. But the Six of Wands, I mean, this is good. Your approach is good. You're working on it. Okay. You may use writing. Okay. You may put your intentions or your manifestations down on paper and kind of give like a message to the universe in that way. You may burn that or do some sort of ceremony. Usually the Six of Wands shows like a messenger carrying a message. So this to me is like a letter to the universe. Again, we were this way. So Six of Wands here, upright is victory. And you're kind of at, I don't know, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, something like that. So we'll get into blockages next, but this is good. Despite some of the resistance cards or reversal cards, you are making progress in some sort of way. So let's look at the blockages that you're receiving, the blockages that you're experiencing rather. What are the blocks to manifestation? Okay, Eight of Pentacles, and this is in your beliefs. So you're working hard on it, and that is a block in a sense. You might be putting in too much work into the manifestation and not allowing it to kind of blossom. So we have to have patience and let it grow in a sense. And this may be something that, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with affirmations. I just put out an affirmation video, but if every day you're thinking about your manifestation and sitting and affirming it, you may be working too hard on it. Sometimes we just have to put the manifestation out there like that letter to the universe and then just kind of sit back and wait for it to come to us. Another message here about beliefs could be that you believe that you have to do good works to receive, right? Which is pretty common, I would say, you know, like in not to single anybody out, but like in Christianity, right? Churches or Christians sometimes believe that we have to do good works to get rewards or good works to be worthy of heaven. So you might have a belief that you have to do a lot of good deeds or you have to work really hard to get what is for you. And this is a blockage, okay? So that means that that's not true, your belief here. Let's see what fears are blocking you. So fears, we have the Three of Cups, the Five of Swords, and the Ten of Wands. Okay, Three of Cups can indicate friends, friend groups, communities. Five of Swords, insecurities, worry. And then the Ten of Wands is being really overwhelmed, right? Having too much on our back. So you may be getting a lot of mixed messages here from friends, communities, possibly even different teachers, things like this. You're getting a lot of messages and it's kind of causing some worry, some insecurity, right? Conflict, mental conflict here in your mind. And that's kind of overwhelming you, okay? And it's drowning out what you're meant to hear about kind of manifestation. And so I'm not trying to discourage you from beliefs or things that you've learned in any sort of way. Just be discerning. See which ones are kind of causing you to fixate or they're not resonating with you. You may need to kind of put those down, okay? Because you're just a little overwhelmed. It's information overload here. And so I think that this can be fears and external factors, which is where I was going to go next, but I won't need to. Okay, it's just information overload. I would recommend finding one way to start manifesting and then sticking with that for a time, okay? Not to try to do too many different ways. And that could even be, you know, part of this works card, like you're working too hard at it. Maybe you're using too many different methods. Let's look at the clarity of your intentions. I think your intentions are very clear. You have the 10 of Cups, okay? You know what you want. You know what would make your heart happy. You are focusing on your happiness. That is good. And then 2 Kings, King of Wands and the King of Swords. And look, she's a female here. King of Wands is about having that authority, that confidence, right? That forward movement, taking action towards your passion. And the King of Swords here is about speaking it. I think that you maybe have done a lot of study or something like this in mindset, possibly even like I'm hearing mindset hacks, right? And so the way that you speak these things here. But both of these are authority, action, authority, kind of top dogs here. So you do use authority here when it comes to manifestation. So I would say that you are very clear. So good job. And then let's see if your manifestations are in alignment with your authentic self. All right, so we have the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So the Hermit would tell me, yes, that they are in alignment with your authentic self, right? Because this is deep inner reflection. This is our inner self. And then you have the Wheel of Fortune, which to me indicates some sort of blockage. If this came by itself, I would say no. But there's some blockage here, and it could be karmic or something like this, or something about a cycle. So I just want to pull one more on that. Tell me about the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. All right, so you have the King of Pentacles, the Empress in reverse, and the 6 of Pentacles. And so the overall message that I'm getting with this, right, is that there's some kind of direct, karmic speaking, there's some kind of direct impact on you from parents, right? I would say father, mother, what have you. It could be the opposite here. And so there's just some impact from the childhood. You know, I've been seeing a lot of this like mother wounding or money wounds, you know, things like this. That might be something to look at, something about worthiness. But yeah, it's parents, it's karmic. So I think that your manifestations do align with your authentic self. But I do think there's just a little bit of blockage here. Some underlying messages possibly, or messaging programming here from your parents, right? And that could have been some of the things that we've looked at already, some of those reversal, right? Where you're not rewarded. We had the Lovers in reverse, okay? Something like that. So, I mean, I would say too, another thing, you know, if you're looking at manifesting love, okay, and you feel like that hasn't come to you yet, you may want to look at childhood, okay, or the relationship with your parents, or the way that you were loved, something like this. Let's see if I can get a little more on that. So I used an oracle deck. It says you got the love, right? Codependency and boundary. There could be something about nurturing the self too. We have the Empress in reverse. This is not being nurtured, right? A blockage in creating. But overall, something about love here. And so if you have any strong beliefs about love, or if you're not even aware that you have beliefs about love, this may be something to look at. But we're going to move on from that. Let's just look at your energy flow, how your energy flows. All right, you have the Sun in reverse. It's a little bit of, you know, the Sun represents wealth, happiness, joy, abundance. So the Sun in reverse would be kind of the opposite of that, okay? So some decrease, I would say, in the energy flow when it comes to manifestation. I mean, it is January, depending on where you are. It is the middle of winter. There could be something there. Let's pull one oracle card here for this. One advice card on that at the energy flow. All right, so we have a time to give rather than take, and don't let your past hold you back. So with this card, a time to give rather than take, this is really talking about, or wanting you kind of to be aware of, that the energy that you put out, right, will return to you. Okay, so again, like the 6 of Pentacles, we have cause and effect. Okay, so the energy that you give out is what will return to you. Okay, if you're withholding nurture to other people, in a sense, you can expect that others would withhold nurture from you. If you're not giving nurture, you may not receive nurture. Now, this isn't to say that if somebody is stonewalling you or not giving, that you should give, right? Rather, give to yourself, okay? But we do have also here, right, it says down here, codependency and boundaries. So if we are talking about love, right, making sure that you're kind of being filled up here, And then we also have don't let your past hold you back. So it's something about childhood, okay, about your parents, about nurture, support, about financial stability or material stability. There's a lot of beliefs there. So let's get some clear action steps for you just in general for addressing some of this or for increasing your manifestation potential. Now, the first card you have is retreat. So maybe that's, maybe there's a retreat to go on where you are kind of getting away, okay? Perhaps there's just a situation in general where you need to get away from. So one is to take a step back, right? Possibly do some more inner reflection here. And we also have a wake-up call. Okay, so boy. So whatever you need to pull away from, it's kind of being emphasized here, like wanting to kind of get you to become aware of this. And then this says do all things in moderation. Okay, and I recall kind of in the beginning, right, saying that you might be overworking it, right? Doing too many things to try to make your manifestation come true. So do all things in moderation. Okay, so there's that. There's also this codependency, this boundaries, right? Pulling back a little, maybe not giving too much. And then I'll get one Moonology card just to end here. So communication is key. So there is something like a message that's kind of coming in for you about ceremony, okay? So communication is key, right? There's something about like a smoke ceremony or like, so I see kind of like your words kind of floating up into the sky with smoke, right? I see you in a, I mean, I don't know who you are, but I see a person in almost like a teepee, you know, sort of thing, and like kind of like a smoke ceremony, like the smoke kind of carries up the prayers. So there's that. There's kind of something about kind of getting away from it all, like that retreat card here. Retreating so that you can get clear on what it is that you want, right? Doing some sort of smoke ceremony, smudge ceremony, cleansing ceremony. Okay, possibly right away when you wake up in the morning. Maybe it's affirmations or something like this. But yeah, there's just really this call for you to get very quiet, okay? Get away from situations or circumstances that aren't kind of serving you right now. And then being able to kind of get really clear on what it is that you do want here. Being very decisive on that, okay? And then communicating that, but really in prayer, okay? Well, it can be in letter, it can be in words, it can be in chanting, it can be in singing. But there's something about this communication with spirit. So you may be encouraged to pray if you speak a light language or something like this. Okay. There's kind of really something mystical about it. And so then they're also saying that this is like something that can kind of help kind of clear out some kind of gunk for you, right? Because what I'm seeing then in my mind's eye is that Wheel of Fortune card that was in reverse kind of coming upright again. So there may be some sort of nature ritual or energetic ritual or something like this. This is something that either you would know about or would come to you, okay? I feel like it's something maybe you've already engaged in or something you've already thought of or something that you kind of have in your mind. It also could come to you in the month of May, okay? It could be an opportunity that comes to you in the month of May. It could be a retreat that is opened up in the month of May. So that's pretty interesting kind of information here. Okay, so I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I do personal readings, so if you want to get a little more specific on your situation, all the information is in the description box below. And I hope that this helps, and take care. All right, so if you picked pile 3, then this is your message for manifestation potential. We're going to look at your current energies and how to enhance them for some positive manifestations here, okay? So we'll get started with your current manifestation energy. So we have the 3 of Cups here. So there's currently an expansion here for you, right? 3s are all about growth and expansion and creation. And I like that this deck, it's angels, right? At least I think it's angels. That's how I'm going to interpret it. And there's a lot of transformation happening here with the butterflies. Maybe more like Roman goddesses or something like that, if you're familiar with that. But anyway, right, there's an expansion and growth here in emotions and spirituality. That's what cups are about here. So I would say your manifestation energies are expanding. Let's look at your current mindset towards manifestation. Okay, we have 2. The 10 of Pentacles was in reverse. So you have the 5 of Wands. Okay, look at this. This is a lot of competition. You're fighting against other people. Things are, you're testing willpower. But it's interesting because it kind of looks like it's herself with her head chopped off. So I would say that this means the competition here is an illusion, okay? In some sort of way. So as it relates to current mindset, right? This could be that you're creating an illusion with yourself that things are scarce, okay? Because we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Upright, this is about wealth and abundance, okay? But it's this. So you have this mindset that due to competition, right, things are scarce. There's not enough for everybody, okay? So if you want to manifest 20 clients, let's say, right, that might not work because so-and-so down the block, she already has 10 clients. So I can possibly have 20, right? There's only 20 clients that exist or something like this, right? There's not enough to go around. This is your current mindset, okay? Let's look at the underlying beliefs here. We have the Death card in reverse. So death is all about transformation. So underlying beliefs would be that things can't change, right? There's no way to transform this. It is already what it is, okay? So you have a belief that things are as they seem, things are as they appear, right? This could indicate some black and white thinking, especially kind of with this scarcity mindset, okay? You may be very black and white the way that you think. It's kind of hard for you to find the middle ground. Things are kind of all or nothing with you, right? Either you have all those 20 clients or you have 0 clients, okay? Something like that. And let's look at your approach to manifestation. All right, Page of Wands. So you do go all in, right? You come forward with enthusiasm, creativity, passion, okay? You rush a little bit. This can be a little bit of ego too. So you might let that ego part of you drive yourself. Let's get one more on that. So we had the Queen of Swords in reverse. I just wanted to clarify if this was more excitement or more ego, right? I do think that you go all in with it, or that you get really excited, but I do think a lot of it's coming from a place of ego, okay, your approach, which would make sense, right? Because we are in competition with others, or we feel like we are, okay? We feel like there's not enough to go around. All right, so I mean, my next question was going to be blockages. I think we've already kind of looked at those, but we can go a little deeper. So let's see why your ego's afraid. The Queen of Swords came out in reverse again. Interesting. So what we're kind of wanting to say is that the ego isn't clear, right? They're not clear. They don't have clarity. I don't know why I'm calling the ego they, but our egos, right? Okay, they don't have clarity. They don't have clear thinking, right? They are not rational. Okay, the sole purpose of the ego is to kind of keep us safe, right? So if in the past you lost out on an opportunity due to competition, right? Or there wasn't enough for you, your ego's like, guess what? We're not going down that road again. So it constantly tries to protect you from similar situations, right? Which can end up being a blockage when it comes to your ability to manifest, okay? So this is kind of what's going on here. Any other fears? The Six of Cups in reverse. Six of Cups is about childhood, right? It's about the past, nostalgia, healing the past, right? It's also about our inner child. So we have this in the reverse. So this can talk about releasing past attachments, right? So beliefs, past beliefs or beliefs that came from the past. Memories, maybe certain circumstances that kind of cause you to be in this more competitive mindset like we already talked about. There might also just be a need, you know, that ego is very much related to, some people probably believe it is, but very much related to our inner child, okay? And that's where we're working from when we come with manifestation, okay? So really looking into kind of those layers here to be able to heal them. You might want to look at some sort of inner child meditation, something like this, okay? Or kind of try to identify, you know, where did this lack mentality start? Where did, you know, like what occurred in childhood or whenever that kind of caused me to believe that I wouldn't get what I needed, right? And that there was nothing I could do about this. This is this Death card in reverse. It's almost this mindset, right? Being a victim to your circumstance. Like it just is the way it is. There's nothing I can do to change it, okay? Kind of going back and identifying that. Let's see if there's any external factors here other than childhood, I suppose. Okay, so I kind of got a no and a nudge to move forward here from Spirit. related to external factors. I think we've already covered that, okay? So we're going to look next at the clarity in your intentions, okay, with manifestation. How clear are your intentions? You have the Eight of Wands, and it was upright. So I would say that that's pretty clear, right? Eight, this is all about manifestation. And it's also fast moving energy, okay? So I definitely think that your intentions are clear. Okay, let's see if your manifestation is in alignment with your authentic self. I say yes. Your manifestations are in alignment with your authentic self. I would also say that you're using gratitude, right? But look at how it's like locked. She's got like this keyhole here on her chest, right? And it's like iron. Her desires, her authentic self lies really deep within, okay? But your manifestations are in alignment with your authentic self. So these are good. Let's look at your energy flow. All right. I just saw 1, 2, 3, 4 on the clock also. So if you're into angel numbers, that probably won't match up. I do edit, but that's what I saw. So Page of Pentacles, energy flow. Interesting. What's interesting here to me is the visuals, right? Page of Pentacles, I would say you're just starting out, right? It's a page usually represents a child, right? Or a messenger here, a student. Okay, so it's the youngest of the court cards, page, knight, queen, king. But look at to me, the energy is like electric. I don't really understand what's going on here. I don't know what this is that's wrapped around this person. I'm not sure why she's kissing some sort of dinosaur skeleton. And then whatever's coming out of her back here. So there's a lot of electric energy, in my opinion here, right? And she's also out in nature. So energy flow. Interesting. So I'm not totally sure about the visuals, right? Something there with energy. Maybe the symbology will mean something to you. I would say that as far as energy flow, right, this is a skill that you can learn. Okay, the Page of Pentacles is a student, so you may want to do some studying on your energy flow, right? Also about the energy that you put out, right, returns to you, right? Kind of this law of attraction sort of thing. That might be something that you want to look into. And then finally, we'll get some action steps for you on kind of how to overcome the blockages here. Let's see. All right, so when we're looking at the blockages for manifestation, these fears, these beliefs, this competitiveness, what action steps can the viewer take? It says do all things in moderation. Okay, that came out in the last pile. So what I hear too is like, don't do too much too fast. Also, this is a really bizarre side message, right? But we had this skeleton here, and like I kept getting a message about the bones. And so I don't know how that talks about energy flow, but the side message is here for somebody that you may want to be careful, like, you know, with exercise with your joints, right? Like if you're running a lot, you might want to just kind of slow that down a little bit, okay? Take care of your body. And I'm not sure how that relates to manifestation, but there you go. We'll get another one here. All right, so you have reflect on your truth and accept disappointments gracefully. And I said gratefully too, so we'll touch on that too. So reflect on your truth. So kind of like we talked about, right? Getting back to kind of the root of where did this scarcity mindset come from? Okay, and then accept disappointments gracefully. Okay, so just because somebody else, say, gets the 5 clients, right, and you don't, right, being graceful about that, but also grateful, right? You're not for every specific person, right? Maybe those 5 clients are better for that person, right, as opposed to you. And maybe there's 5 better clients out there, or not better, but better suited to you. And I keep using clients as an example. Obviously, it can be whatever it is, whatever you feel like there's not enough to go around, okay? Just remember, like if something doesn't come straight to you, then perhaps there's something better waiting, right? All right, and then I will get a couple of these Moonology cards. The energy is gaining momentum, okay? So good. So your energy flow can be increasing, right? Especially if you are able to kind of do that study maybe on that. This says the answers you need are coming and emotions are running high. Okay. Okay, so remember before when I talked about running in your joints and stuff and emotions are running high? So when we talk about energy flow and we look back at this card, then what comes to mind is like, your physical pain can be reflective, right, to your emotional state too. So it's possible that doing some clearing or looking at pain can be helpful in identifying these memories. Please reach out to me if that doesn't make sense. I hope it does. But I do think that as you start to reflect on your energetic flow, also where some of these past patterns came, right, you'll start to gain momentum here and you'll get what you need, okay? You might want to send something out to the universe, whether that's talking to your spirit guides, praying, right, something like this to kind of give you these answers, to teach you a little bit about energy flow. I think that that would be beneficial for you. And then I'm also just going to sit here for a moment and see if I get any channeled messages for you. So the first thing I see is it's kind of a scene, you know, like a Christmas scene, I don't know, where somebody is opening a present, right? And they're very happy. And then there's kind of somebody sulking in the background. I mean, obviously they're both children, so there's some disappointment there, some jealousy. And so really the jealousy kind of leads to this anger, right? And it kind of leads to this hostile nature and this kind of competitiveness that we put out to the world, right? And it's not flattering in a sense, right? But it's also the energy that we're putting out, and it's the energy then that we're receiving. Okay, so, and it's really just your self's way of protecting itself. Okay, just like the running analogy that I gave earlier, right? You're running too hard. Running is good for you, right? So maybe it's good for your heart, right? Cardiovascular, but it's hurting your joints. And now your knees are kind of in pain and they're yelling at you. They're angry and it's not comfortable. So it may make you pull back from running, okay? Now the same could be true in this scenario with clients, and I don't know, it could be employer, it could be lover, it could be friends, what have you. So now say we're in the client analogy here, and you have kind of an angry sort of attitude, but it's a protective measure. You're a little assertive, you're a little aggressive, you just kind of have this chip on your shoulder, right? This is the energy that's flowing out of you. Okay, so you may be pushing clients away because they're not drawn to that, right? Or you're going to attract clients that kind of are similar or are going through some similar things. Perhaps they have a chip on their shoulder. And I'm not saying in any way that, you know, you're just stomping around the world angry and jealous. Nothing like that, right? This is internal. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person, right? It's just yourself protecting yourself because you've had past disappointments, okay? So first and foremost, accept that there's nothing wrong with that, okay? We do what we have to do to kind of survive. Second of all, just accept that that's something that you can change, okay? And then also be aware of kind of the impact that it has on your external, right? This is your internal, and it has a large reflection on your external. I think that you have some good action steps here to take, just kind of identifying those things and knowing that there's a choice. I just want to see if there's any final messages here for you. So we have you're very close to achieving your goal, okay? So continue to work on that. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I do personal readings, so if you would like to work on manifestation or just have a reading that is focused more on your specific situation, then all the information for that is in the description box below, okay? I hope that this helps, and take care.